Canada, often lauded for its picturesque landscapes and reputation as a safe, stable, and prosperous haven, hides a growing undercurrent of dissatisfaction among its residents. In this exploration, we'll unravel the less glamorous side of Canada, shedding light on the housing crisis, economic challenges, high cost of living, monopolies, and the decline in public services that challenge the nation's idyllic image. Imagine saving up for years to buy a house in Canada, only to find the prices skyrocketing beyond reach. Sounds familiar? Over the past 2 decades, the housing market in Canada has seen a dramatic increase. The average house price has almost tripled, making home ownership a distant reality for many. Now let's consider newcomers to Canada, often arriving with limited resources. They're drawn by the promise of a better life, only to be met with an unaffordable housing market. They face the daunting task of starting anew in a foreign land while also grappling with the prospect of never owning a home. This housing nightmare doesn't just affect immigrants, but also Canadians who are struggling to climb the property ladder. The soaring prices have locked many out of the housing market, turning the Canadian dream into a challenging puzzle. So, the dream home in Canada? For many, it remains just that, a dream. But it's not just about housing. The Canadian economy itself has been struggling. Picture this, a once booming economy now grappling with a downturn, and the effects are palpable. Over the past few years, the job market has tightened and unemployment rates have been on the rise. It's particularly noticeable among the immigrant population, who often find themselves facing even more significant challenges in securing employment. The figures are stark. A recent study revealed that around 1 in every 5 immigrants is unable to find work. That's a whopping 20% of the immigrant population jobless. For those who do manage to find employment, the positions often fall short of their qualifications and aspirations. This disparity between skills and job availability is a major concern. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the reality for many. With these economic struggles and limited job opportunities, the Canadian dream is losing its shine. And even if you do land a job, is it enough to keep up with the high cost of living? Let's take a moment to decode the economic puzzle that is Canada's cost of living. First off, groceries. A basket of basic food items that you could comfortably buy in most countries may leave you gasping for breath at the checkout counter in Canada. Next, we have healthcare. Despite being touted as free, out-of-pocket expenses for prescriptions, dental care, and eye care can pile up, creating a substantial financial burden for many. Then comes transportation. With public transit costs soaring and gas prices hitting the roof, getting around isn't as affordable as it used to be. Now let's juxtapose these rising costs with average salaries. Unfortunately, wage growth has been sluggish, failing to keep pace with the escalating cost of living. In the face of such high expenses, making ends meet becomes a constant struggle. Ever wondered why your phone bill in Canada is astronomical? It isn't just about the services you're getting, it's about who's providing those services. You see, Canada, like many other countries, has a few major players in the telecommunications industry. These giants have an oversized influence on pricing, creating what we call an oligopoly. It's like a monopoly, but instead of one company having total control, a small group shares that power. And it's not just your phone bill. This same pattern repeats itself in other sectors as well, from airlines to banking. These industries are dominated by a handful of corporations, leading to less competition and, you guessed it, higher prices. Because when there's no competition, there's no incentive for these companies to lower their prices. Instead, they can keep them high, knowing that consumers have limited options. In a country where a few big players dictate prices, the consumer invariably suffers. It's a tough truth, but one that's important to understand. But let's look beyond daily expenses. How does Canada fare on the global stage? When it comes to Canada's economic structure, there's a heavy reliance on natural resources. This is a double-edged sword. Yes, these resources have brought considerable wealth, but they've also led to a somewhat stagnant economy. There's a lack of diversification. We don't see the same level of innovation and tech development as in other developed countries. Moreover, Canada's competitiveness on a global scale is being questioned. While other nations are racing towards the future, Canada seems to be stuck, banking on its oil reserves and timber. But the world is shifting towards sustainable energy sources and digital economies. And then there's the issue of productivity. Canada's productivity growth has been sluggish, lagging behind other developed nations. This impacts not only the country's economic health but also its ability to attract foreign investors. In a rapidly advancing world, Canada's economy seems stuck in the past. Public services, the backbone of any society. But in Canada, they're cracking under pressure. Let's delve into the nitty-gritty. Healthcare, a right, not a privilege, is experiencing longer waiting times, sometimes stretching into months. This isn't just about inconvenience, it's about health deteriorating while you wait for treatment. Education, the cornerstone of a thriving nation, isn't faring much better. Classrooms are overcrowded, teachers are scarce, and many school buildings are relics of a bygone era. Our kids deserve better, don't they? And let's not forget about the outdated infrastructure. Crumbling roads, aging bridges, and public transportation that's anything but reliable. These are not just inconveniences, they're safety hazards. The decline in public services has real, far-reaching consequences. It's not about statistics on a spreadsheet, it's about people's lives. As these services decline, quality of life follows suit. When public services fail, it's the common man who pays the price. With all these issues, is it any wonder that many are rethinking their Canadian dream? As we delve deeper into the heart of the matter, a sense of dissatisfaction seems to pulse through the veins of society in Canada. This discontentment isn't a mere whimper in the night. It is a roar that echoes across the country, resounding in the hearts of both newcomers and longtime residents. The once glittering allure of the Canadian dream is now clouded by a cocktail of economic struggles, high living costs, and declining public services. This is not conjecture, the numbers speak for themselves. Immigration rates are dwindling while immigration is on an upward trend. The allure of opportunity, once a potent magnet, seems to be losing its pull. People are voting with their feet, seeking greener pastures elsewhere. This shift is an alarm bell, a call to action for Canada to reevaluate and reform. Canada, once the dream destination, now seems to be losing its appeal. So why is Canada no longer the dream destination for immigrants? We've unpacked the housing nightmare, economic struggles, and high cost of living. We've talked about monopolies, oligopolies, and the challenges in the economic structure affecting global competitiveness. We've also discussed the decline in public services and the overall dissatisfaction leading to changing immigration trends. If you found this video informative, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share it with your friends. Let's continue the conversation in the comments below.